Hello, my fellow sinners. I've noticed a trend going around for a while where people rate things from the game, whether it's the packs, people from the game, and it's time for me to rate something. People ask me all the time to rate the expansion packs so they can kind of get a better idea of what they should buy if they're new to the game, and maybe I'll get to that someday, but today I'm gonna be rating my favorite thing in the whole entire game, the deaths. Welcome to my ranking system. I have created this and I'm going to take you through it. So starting at the top tier is Grim Reaper. Since we're talking about deaths, obviously the Grim Reaper is the king of death. Underneath that we have Bella Goth, a top tier sim. Everybody knows her, everybody loves her. Below that we have the Social Bunny, which is one of my favorite people from The Sims 2. Would come down if you were feeling real lonely. He was there for you. He's not quite as top tier as Bella Goth, but he's up there. And then we have Crumple Bottom, which I don't hate Crumple Bottom, don't get me wrong.
Don't get it twisted.
But she hates love, and I think that's pretty funny, so we're putting her at the bottom. And then of course, F tier is obviously Eliza Pancakes. Do I need to explain myself there? I don't think I do. So I have all the sim deaths down here below. I literally have to pull up a thing on the side of my screen here. It's coffee time. Yum. There were some deaths on here that I honestly have never experienced or never seen. I had to Google them. So let's start with the simplest death of all. Old age. Old age is a sign that your sim has made it through their life without dying from other weird reasons. Lived a long, good life. Well, I don't know about good, but at least it was a long life. So for that, I'm gonna give him a Social Bunny. It's a good death, right? But it's not the most exciting death. And for that, it's Social Bunny tier. The next one we have is Fires. This is an absolute Grim Reaper tier death. It is by far my favorite way to kill my Sims. It has always been my favorite way to kill my Sims since the early ages of The Sims 1. It never gets old. It's always funny. It's just so chaotic. And I think that's what I like about it. Next, let's do Freezing to Death. This one came with seasons. So if you don't have seasons, then this wouldn't be something that you could do. I actually don't know if you can kill someone this way with the freeze ray. That I don't know, but it is a thing in seasons. And it's pretty funny. It's not the best in the world, but I think it's funny because it seems to just happen when you least expect it, and for that I'm gonna give it a Social Bunny tier. It's not the best in the world, but it's also not the worst. Next we have a new death, which is Death by Murphy Bed. So this came with The Sims 4 Tiny Living. We have Murphy beds, which are the beds that kind of tuck into the wall and there's a couch and then they can fold out. Those are the Murphy beds for unaware. And they can kill your Sims because they can malfunction and they can just crush them to death. It's pretty funny. However, I have not seen a death of this yet, and I think they have to get crushed multiple times in order for them to actually die, and that seems tedious and annoying. So for that, I'm gonna give it a Crumple Bottom. It's funny to watch, but the fact that you have to do it a couple of times in a row is really forced, and it's just, I don't know. I'd rather set them on fire. The next one we have is Rabid Rodent Fever. If you don't know, this one came with My First Pet stuff. Pause for booing. We all hate it. We all don't know why they did it. No, we do. It was a money grab. We all know it was. Now the pack itself is pretty cute. I'm not gonna lie. I like it, and I like having small animals like hamsters and hedgehogs and stuff. I like that. But the pack itself is a huge flop because you had to have pets in order to play it. Stupid. So for that right away, I'm already giving it and I've also never even experienced the fever killing my sim. So I'm gonna give that an Eliza Pancakes tier. Sorry, My First Pet stuff, but you knew it was coming. The next one is Being Mortified to Death. So it's just death by embarrassment. I don't think I've experienced this one either. I don't know how difficult it is for this to happen. I also don't know if it's totally random. I've never experienced it, but I do think it's pretty funny, and I also feel like I have died of embarrassment so many times, and I'm definitely gonna do it again at one point in my life. So for that, I'm gonna give it a Crumple Bottom just because I've never seen it, but it's pretty funny. But it's also not the most dramatic thing, but it is random, and I like that. The next one is Starvation. This one, I'm conflicted. In The Sims 4, it's so annoying. It takes forever. Your Sims never freaking starve. God, it takes them 4 days without eating to starve to death. And I'm just I don't have that kind of time, Sims. I need you to starve. I sound like a monster. But in the old Sims games, it was much easier to accomplish. But since this is Sims 4, I'm gonna have to give it an Eliza Pancakes. And to be honest, it just takes way too long and it's not that exciting. You know what's exciting about it? When it finally happens, you're thank God, it's been 84 years. And finally, I've seen it. The next one is drowning. This is another one that takes way too damn long, but is very satisfying in the end. I would say it's more satisfying than starving to death. It has to be. But see, drowning is such a classic staple of The Sims. It's like taking away the pool ladder, which now doesn't even do anything. Now you have to build walls around it. But I think it's such a Sim staple. I'm gonna have to give that one a Social Bunny because everybody has done that at one point, whether it's a Sims 1 through Sims 4, it's a staple. So it's gotta get Social Bunny status. The next one is dying from anger. Also something I've never seen, but hilarious. Getting so mad that you die, that's pretty freaking funny. I kind of want to like make all these happen now. I want to see them all. But again, since I've never seen it, it's gonna have to go in the crumple bottom tier. Hopefully something will make Bella Goth tier or Grim Reaper tier again. I don't know. So the next one is something I've actually never seen either, and I didn't even know it was a death until I looked it up. You can die in the sauna. Did y'all know that? Was I the only one who didn't know? So apparently if you stay in the sauna for too long, I guess you overheat and you die. According to whatever this person wrote in this article, apparently the only time they've ever seen it happen is when there's like a glitch in the system and someone's like blocking the door or something and they can't get out and they're like trapped. Otherwise it like doesn't really work. But I've never seen it, and I can't imagine it's that dramatic either. So I'm gonna have to give that an Eliza Pancakes. Honestly, I've just never seen it. I didn't even know it existed, so it can't be that important. Next is the pufferfish death. So this came with city living. You have to get the pufferfish recipe from a food stall in the city. And then if you cook it yourself and it's a poor quality, it has like a 50% chance of killing your sim. It's like poisonous, but just this one fish. But I think that's pretty funny and that's pretty like diabolical, you know? Like if you were gonna kill a sim, and I also think it could go very wrong. Like your sim could accidentally eat it instead and they could die. That's funny to me. I don't know if it's Bella Goth tier. I'm gonna have a think about this one. I don't even know if I want it in Social Bunny. No, you know what? Yeah, because I think it's funny and I think people really like this death and they've used it a lot. I've seen a lot of people use this to kill their sims, which is pretty funny. It's kind of like poisoning your sims and that's pretty cool. Well, if you like to kill your sims, which I mean I do. The next one is electrocution. This is a good one. I love this one. If your sim is not good at doing mechanic things, then this could very well happen to your sim. They get electrocuted, they die. It's funny. I think this one is a Bella Goth tier, actually. Because it's not as good as setting them on fire, but it's still funny. I'm honestly considering moving Drowning to Grim Reaper, and I know that's quite a jump, but I'm thinking about it because it's just so iconic. I feel like maybe it belongs there. It depends on how you look at it. If you look at it on a Sims 4 perspective, it's a Social Bunny tier, but if you look at it from the grand perspective of all the Sims games, it's a Grim Reaper tier. The next one, Cow Plant. That's a Grim Reaper tier for me. I have killed so many Sims with a cow plant on purpose. I love cow plants. I've always loved them. I think they're so cool. I just bought a Sims painting with a bunch of cow plants on it. I love them. Big fan. So for me, that's Grim Reaper tier. I think it's just such a fun way for your Sims to die or to kill other people. For some reason, your Sims are really stupid when it comes to cow plants, and like they will always take the cake. Like if there's cake coming out of the cow plant, they will take it. Like you won't have to do a thing. And that's what I love about it, is that you'll just like randomly see a sim die because they took the cake like 3 times in a row without you even noticing. And that's the best part. Love that. Death by hysteria. So this is when your Sims pretty much like laugh to death. It even says on this little article that I'm reading that it's the most difficult emotional death to trigger, which would make sense because I've never seen it happen. Again, I think I've seen this happen to other people and it is pretty dramatic. It's kind of scary. Like they're laughing so hard and then they die. Like it's kind of scary, but I feel like if I was gonna go, that's how I would go. Have y'all heard my laugh? The wheeze and the cackle. There's no in between. Because I've never seen it, I'm gonna give it a crumple bottom. I don't think it's Eliza Pancakes tier because it's a funny death. Get it? Because it's laughing to death. But yeah, I've never seen it. And I don't know how many other people have either. So this one I've never seen either, but God, I want to because it sounds incredible. It's a rocket ship crash. Did you know that this could happen? I didn't. First, that sounds terrifying. You could send them with no skills or stick fruit in the ship's exhaust before takeoff and you can cause a crash and explosion and likely the demise of your astronaut. Incredible! I've never seen this, but I must do it. I'm gonna give that I'm gonna give that a Social Bunny tier. Not quite Bella Goth tier, because I've never seen it. I think that's a cool death. It's very dramatic, and I just like dramatic deaths. Overexertion. So this happens to elders only when they exert a little too much energy, they're old, they can't handle it, they die. A lot of people say they can die from woohooing too much. What a way to go. But it's kind of a boring death. It only happens to elders. I'm gonna have to give that an Eliza Pancakes tier. Sorry, it's just really boring. The next one is Wishing Well. So for Sims who wish for an immortal life, sometimes this can backfire and it can actually just kill them right on the spot, which I think is pretty cool. You ask for too much, sometimes it just don't work out. I think that one's pretty cool. I feel like I'm putting everything in the Social Bunny tier, but like, is it really Bella Goth tier? Could we agree that it's like not? I actually might move some of these around because I'm starting to change my mind. Now that I think about it, like the freezing to death one is pretty funny. It happens so quick and you won't even be paying attention. Like one of your Sims will just be frolicking in the snow for too long and you won't even notice and then they'll freeze to death. But the Wishing Well is pretty cool. That's a pretty cool death because you're kind of asking for it. The next one is Poison from Jungle Adventure. Now, not my favorite pack, as we know. And this is only a death that you can get if you have that pack. You get like poisoned in the jungle, and if you don't cure it, you could die from it. It's pretty boring. I mean, honestly, this one just really does not do it for me, y'all. It really just doesn't. Nothing about Jungle Adventure really does it for me, and that's gonna have to go in Eliza Pancakes tier. Sorry. And last but not least, we have the Scent of Death. Did you know this was a thing? Because I didn't. Man, I really do stick to my main three. I couldn't get that finger up for some reason. I always stick to fire, drowning, cow plant. The gang's all here. But this is if you have seasons, so you can't do it if you don't have seasons, but it comes with the flower arrangement table. It says firstly to even acquire the Scent of Death flower arrangement, you have to be level freaking 9 flower arranging. So it's gonna take you a while to even get there. You have to have all of the materials to craft it, and it needs to be excellent quality. And secondly, it will only kill your sim if they're an elder? What? That is some baloney. Interestingly though, it does age up all Sims, including vampires. While an elder vampire won't die, you can use it to make Vlad into the elder he appears to be at a glance. What the? Oh, I get it! So it ages them up. So if you're an elder, that's the last stage of life. So if you age up, you die, because that's the next step in your life is death. Ooh, that was a little morbid. Sorry, y'all. Honestly, I hated it at the beginning because it was only for elders. However, the way that it works is kind of fascinating. It's going in Crumble Bottom. It's not the worst, but I think it's pretty cool. Now, the death aspect is only cool because, you know, it's elders only, but like, I don't know. I like the way it works. So here is my finished death chart. There are a few that I missed when it comes to like vampires being on the sun. There might be a few other in there that I forgot to mention, but I tried to get as many as I could, even ones that I had never seen or heard of before. So at the top, we have death by fire, we have death by drowning, and we have death by cowplant. My 3 favorite deaths in The Sims 4. The best of the best. Bella Goth's here. We have electrocution and freezing to death because those are hilarious. You can tell I kind of like the elements here. Can you tell? We literally have like fire, water, ice, and then electrocution. All of the elements. Social Bunny tier. We have Old Age, Pufferfish, Rocket Ship Crash, and the Wishing Well. Now, I didn't think I was gonna put the Wishing Well in that tier, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, okay, wait, that's kind of cool. Crumple Bottom. We have Death by Murphy Bed, which is something I really wanted in the game, but then like once I played it, I was like, oh, it's kind of hard to like make them die. I kind of just wanted them to die like right off the bat. Death by Embarrassment, funny, but rare. Death by Anger, also funny, but rare. Death by Hysteria, also funny, but rare. Very rare. Death by Scent of Death. I think that's what it's called. A cool death that I've never heard of or seen, but it's intriguing. And on the lowest tier, Eliza Pancakes tier, we have Rabid Rodent Fever, which came with My First Pet stuff, which we just automatically put in F tier no matter what. We have Death by Starvation, classic Sims death, but takes way too damn long. I don't have that kind of time, Sims. Death by Sauna. I like that death, but like apparently it's nearly impossible to do. Death by Overexertion. Again, this is only for elders. You have to work them really hard. I don't know. It's not that exciting. And Death by Poison in Jungle Adventure, which I'm not a huge fan of anyways, so meh. So that is my ranking for The Sims 4 deaths. If you want to also participate in it, I will have it linked down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. To become part of the early squad, click that notification bell and make sure all notifications are on so you never miss any of my videos. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.